How's it going, everybody? It's your boy here. Now, I know it's been a while. I haven't uploaded a video in like almost a month, and this is obviously gonna be a little bit different. It's not gonna be like a skit like I usually do, but instead I thought I would like to go for a discussion video. I just wanted to try something a little different, and I think you guys might like it. If not, then let me know. But with that being said, I would like to discuss today on a topic that I'm sure a lot of you guys think about. Can Smash Brothers be my career? Now, I know a lot of you guys love this game, and some of you guys be playing this like it's a 9 to 5 or, you know, just 8 hours a day, whatever. A lot of you guys invest a lot of time into this game, and wouldn't it be nice if you could, you know, make some money out of it? Or, in a sense, you know, make a career out of it, you know, make a living, being able to survive off investing a lot of your time or most of your time into this game. But before we get into that, there's another way I be making the money, and that is thanks to this video sponsor. If you're a gamer like me, you'll be doing a lot of gaming. But there's no other game I'd rather be gaming than Raid Shadow Legends, available on PC and mobile devices. Now you're probably wondering to yourself, what? Where did this game come from? From the description down below, Raid Shadow Legends is one of the most popular turn-based battle MMORPGs, and the game is completely free to download. Now a certified gamer like me recognizes high quality games. In fact, this game is so elegant that you know I had to dress up for the occasion. Now the great thing about Raid Shadow Legends is that not only can you play on your PC, but it's also available on mobile devices, so you can be gaming no matter where you go. I can be gaming outside while I'm feeding the ducks. I could be gaming while sailing on a boat. Heck, sometimes I'll be gaming in the club. Even when I'm out on a date, you can catch me playing Raid Shadow Legends. With over 600 lovable champions, the gameplay never gets stale. Matter of fact, let me tell you a bit about my favorite ones. I've really been putting in some work with Kalia. What I like about her is that she has a huge area of effect attack that reduces enemy heals, which really helps when I want to prevent bosses from healing up. Also, I've been having a lot of fun playing Harris. I like to bring her out a lot to my favorite game mode, Arena, where I get to play against other players, and she's been super useful for my team. She even has the ability to remove one random debuff from all of my allies, so it's very useful. Also, for my viewers that have already been playing this game and have managed to acquire Ultimate Death Knight, I have a gift. Use the promo code DKRises and you will receive a ton of free items to quickly level up your Ultimate Death Knight all the way up to level 50 and 5-star ascension. Or, if you have not gotten this champion, you can still use these items on other characters. But once you've used the promo code, don't forget to claim your items by clicking on the inbox in the upper right screen. And right over here you'll find your items. Oh, and for any new players, Raid's running an awesome trick-or-treat Halloween promotion where you have a chance to win all kinds of prizes. These prizes include a $1,000 Amazon gift card and some of the best epic and legendary Halloween champions in Raid. All you have to do is download Raid with the link I put in the description, then head over to trickortreat.plarium.com and enter your Raid player ID. Once you do so, spin the wheel and get your prize. This is the best time to start playing, so if you're new, use my link that I put in the description below, or you can scan the QR code that I put in the upper left side of the screen. Once you do so, you get a free starter pack worth nearly $30, a free champion Vergius, and of course, free in-game loot. With that being said, thank you Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Alrighty, anyways, continuing with the video, still got the suit on. Should I continue in the suit? Alright, now where were we? My facial hair is gone. Let's talk about, you know, what you can do to pretty much make Smash Bros. A career. Now, the first question is Smash Brothers an actual liable career? Yes, it actually is. Surprisingly so, but you have to be smart about it, and you do have to put in a lot of work. But yes, you can actually make a full living out of this game and pretty much survive off just doing Smash Bros. Stuff. Pause. Now before we discuss how, let me give you guys a little bit of my experience and what I pretty much do and how I, you know, make it the money. So my experience is that I used to be a competitor. That was pretty much the first thing I did when I joined the Smash Bros scene. I joined the competitive Smash Bros scene around 2016. I think my first tournament was this one event in Orlando, and I got like, I don't know, 2-2. Fun fact, I actually never went 0-2 in Smash 4, but I did once in Ultimate. But yeah, that was my dream. My dream was to start as a competitor, and I wanted to be the, you know, that guy that went on the big stage and competed against the top players and beat the top players and won the events, or, you know, at least made top 8, and pretty much just made money just traveling to events, competing against people, and beating the asses with Sonic the Hedgehog. Unfortunately, I never got that good, but I did win a couple, you know, smaller tournaments, you know, locals, and that pays as well. So I did start as a competitor, but later on I did pretty much transition to becoming a content creator, and that's pretty much why I am entirely right now. I used to be both a content creator and a competitor, but right now I'm just pretty much exclusively content creator. And before I go any further, I do want to say that being a content creator pays definitely a lot more than being a competitor. Just putting that out there. Anyways, eventually I also came around to hosting my own events in Smash Brothers. I organized certain events, I helped organize a lot of events, and I've also worked behind the scenes to, you know, just create a lot of Smash Brothers content slash events slash whatever, you know. I pretty much worked with a lot of people, and I've worked myself on a lot of things involving the game. And additionally, I've also worked for a lot of, you know, esports organizations that do Smash Brothers events slash content. And also at certain points I was sponsored twice. I had 2 sponsors, and they pretty much helped me, you know, invest into these certain things. And no, I'm not talking about like the video sponsor I had earlier. I mean like an actual esports organization that, you know, was giving me money to travel to events slash make content slash, you know, turn this game into my career. Anywho, going back to being a competitor, if your dream is to become a Smash Brothers competitor entirely, wait, hold on, let me start all over real quick. Before we go any further real quick, I want to emphasize that I'm talking about making Smash Brothers Melee and Ultimate a career. Those 2 games, you can, you know, make a career out of that. If you're a Smash 64 player and you want to make a career out of that, good luck. It's not really gonna happen. Just don't bother. But if you're a Melee player or someone that plays Smash Ultimate, then yeah, it's doable. Now I'm gonna be blunt with you guys. If you want to be a competitor, like just solely a competitor, nothing else, just entirely competition, traveling to events to compete and win money from that and pretty much make a living from that, good luck. That is probably the most difficult way to make Smash Brothers your career. Now the thing about being a competitor is that you have to go to events. Now as I mentioned earlier, you can pretty much go to the major events, or you can also just go to the local events, you know, the small ones that happen pretty much every week or monthly depending on where you are. Your region is important because it pretty much determines how much you're spending and how much you're going to be able to make from being a competitor. For example, if you live in, let's say, the South Florida region of the United States, they have events all the time. Same goes for, let's say, around Atlanta and Georgia or South California. Those areas have a lot of local events that happen occasionally and consistently, so you can just pretty much go to an event all the time. And if you're good enough and you're placing high enough, you're going to be earning some money from competing at these events. But let's say you live in, you know, Australia, or you live in New Zealand, you know, somewhere that's like off the map, and those areas don't really have, you know, a lot of consistent events all the time. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to make money as a competitor, because your problem is that you're gonna have to travel a lot all the time if you want to go to major events to make money. And that's another thing. If you're traveling to majors, you're gonna have to account for the fact that no matter what you make at that event, you're still gonna have to spend certain things. You're gonna have to spend money on the food you're gonna have to buy at the event you went to. You're gonna have to spend the money on the hotel that you need to stay at to be at the event. You're gonna have to spend money on the flight that you took to get to the event, and then the flight that you're taking to go back home. So there's a lot of hurdles when it comes to being a competitor. So you're pretty much spending a lot of money, and always the goal is to make more than you're spending. So how much are you making? Well, I got more bad news. Being a competitive Smash player kind of sucks. It does. It really does, because not only is the game very difficult to be consistently good at, considering the fact that you're competing against millions of other people that are also fighting for the title of best in the world. And the game itself is just designed in a way where it's very difficult to be consistent, considering how much jank and RNG and just a lot of nonsense going on. It's very difficult to be consistently good. There's only very few people in the world that can be consistently good. It's pretty much a 1 in a million chance that you're gonna be playing super well consistently. But let's say you're built different, you know, you got those competitive genes. In that case, how much money are you making? A lot of games are different depending on like the format, but in the competitive Smash scene, when you go to a tournament, they pretty much only pay the players that place in the top 8 rankings. So if you place below that, let's say you get 9th, too bad, you'll get in nothing. If you're lucky enough to get top 8, I got some more bad news. Smash Brothers is not a game that pays well when it comes to the competitive scene. The thing about competitive events for this game is that they're pretty much community hosted. There's no developer support at these events, and it's very rare that they get like, you know, genuine sponsors that are putting a lot of money into the events. So pretty much all the money that goes into these events is from the community itself. So you're pretty much just paying each other. With that being said, that makes payouts not really high when it comes to these events. Hungrybox, who is one of the most successful people in making Smash Brothers a career, is someone who consistently places high at tournaments. He went to a Smash Brothers tournament once and got 5th place and was paid $75. Now, if you do the math, that's not paying for your hotel. And that's probably not paying for your flight either. Now, Hungrybox is someone that lives in Florida, and CEO was hosted in that state, so he didn't really have to pay for a flight. He was able to just kind of drive there. And depending on how far he lived, he probably just went home to sleep. So he didn't really have to pay for all that. But is that even covering gas money? I mean, considering the date of this event and the gas prices at that time, if I had to calculate, he probably broke even. So he competed for 3 days at this event and pretty much made a net $0. And that's the struggle of being a Smash Brothers competitor. You're not really competing to make enough money that can sustain a living. That's why most top competitors, you know, people that are placing high consistently, are getting sponsors. A sponsor is when an esports organization pretty much backs you up and gives you money to go and compete. And a lot of times if you're getting a good deal, which most of these top players are getting, the good deals, these esports organizations are going to be paying you a monthly salary. Additionally, they're going to be helping you with your flights and hotels and all that stuff. So they're going to be pretty much helping you pay for a lot of these things that would hurt your wallet otherwise. So now all you got to worry about is just performing well, because performing well is what's going to keep you this sponsor, and it's also going to be how you're going to make your additional money. Another thing that these top players like to do, or just good players in general, is that they like to go to these events and compete against other people in these things called money matches, where pretty much you sit down with another player and you both put a certain amount of money down, and whoever wins gets to take all the money. I'm pretty sure it might be considered gambling to a certain extent or in certain regions, so don't tell them I told you about this, but it is a thing that people do to make, you know, some extra moolah. But yeah, being a competitor can pay the bills, assuming you have a sponsor and you're consistently placing very high, but it's hard. And another thing is that these sponsors usually do is that they're demanding of what you produce. When you're a competitor and you go to these events, you're pretty much already non-directly making content, because the event itself is recording you usually, and they're going to be, you know, live streaming it or posting the videos on YouTube. So you're pretty much performing for the event so they can create the content to give to the people, so they get the viewers and, you know, they get paid and blah blah blah. But sometimes sponsors will ask you to directly make your own content. You know, sometimes sponsors are demanding of, like, hey, you have to stream at least once a month, or you have to make a video on YouTube once a month, you know, stuff like that. And it's all up to you to pretty much choose which deal you're willing to work with. But being a sole competitor is a very rare and difficult thing to achieve in the Smash Brothers, you know, career field. Speaking of being a content creator, let's move on to that topic. Now, being a content creator is probably one of the best approaches you can have to making Smash Brothers your actual career, because it pays pretty well. Now, it's not easy to be a content creator. You obviously have to be in a situation where you're creating content that is attracting the attention of a lot of people, and, you know, you just have a lot of people talking about you, sharing your videos, watching your videos, etc. So it obviously requires a lot of creative juices, and it's a lot of hard work as well. I actually think being a content creator is very difficult, because you have to be pretty much consistent, and you also just have to put a lot of effort into creating this content. Now, while I do think that's easier than being a competitor, it's still a very hard field, but it's a lot more rewarding. That's why if you're noticing, a lot of these top players are pretty much moving on to becoming, you know, content creators, whether it's part-time or maybe entirely full-time. And of course, a lot of these top players are just being content creators on the side. I think it's also a lot easier to become a content creator when you're a top player, just because you can just pretty much make a video of you playing the game or anything, and people will watch it just for the sole fact that you're good at the game. But if you're not a good player, you can still just make content and make money from that. Now, how much money do content creators make? I'm going to be transparent for you guys and do something that most people don't do. I'm going to let you guys know how much I make. So this is how much I made from my most recent video. Obviously, this is some personal info, but you guys are pretty much my family, so I don't mind showing you guys. However, for my most recent vid from September 26th, so almost a month ago, wow. Can't believe I haven't uploaded for almost a month. But anyways, for almost a month, this video was able to make $300 and garner about 150,000 views. So that will give you guys kind of a perspective of how much money I'm making per view. But also another thing you guys can consider is that it's also calculated by how much people are watching. So this video got an average view duration of 4 minutes and 42 seconds. So it's pretty much this number calculated with the overall views, and that's what mostly calculates how much money you're making from it. But also when a video has a sponsor, like this video specifically, it's going to get extra money from that. And of course, there's also other factors that go into it. However, that gives you an idea of like what a video makes on average from like this viewer count. To give you guys another example, this is my Incineroar video that I uploaded back in June, and this made over $400 for about 250,000 views. Now, you guys got to remember that this is also an ongoing thing. All of my videos are constantly getting views. Like this one in the past 48 hours got 940 views. And basically, the more videos you have in your channel and the more traction they're getting, the more ongoing views you're constantly getting every month, even if you're not uploading. Obviously, the newest video is going to be getting like the most money at the time because it's the one that's getting the most traction at the moment. However, you're always going to get like just passive income just for your videos like sitting in your channel, depending on how popular your channel gets or how popular your videos are getting, etc. But yeah, that's the good thing about being a content creator. You can pretty much just create content that sits there and you're getting passive income for this. Now, another way to make content is to become an event organizer and pretty much produce content based off of your event. Now, being an event organizer is also somewhat of a career path, but it's a lot more than just, hosting the event. When you're an event organizer, it's very important to find sponsors, pretty much third-party companies that will help support the event and put money into it. It's also very important to get staff, people that help you organize the event because, doing one event by yourself is pretty much impossible if you're getting, 1,000 people or hundreds of people. You got to get a filming crew, people that can film the event, people that can record the event itself, the gameplay and all that. You got to make sure that you're inviting, top players or, pretty much getting the attention of top players, getting reputable people, influencers, if you will, to go to this event and bring traction to event, bring an audience. Essentially, you want to get as many eyes as possible at this event that you're hosting because the way you're going to make money off of it is the content, pretty much. There will be the people that pay to go to the event, but usually a lot of times that kind of just breaks even because that's the money that you're putting into, paying the staff members and paying for the equipment and paying for the place you're renting to host the event, etc. But the money usually comes from, the content you make from it. There's a lot of organizations in the Smash Brothers scene that have these YouTube channels and Twitch channels where they're posting footage from their own events. And if you see all the views and all the traction that they're getting in all these platforms, that's pretty much where they're getting their money from. Now, of course, you can also sell merchandise or do a bunch of other things to make some extra money on the side, but the primary source of income for these event organizers is their content. And this also applies to esports organizations. Esports organizations are the people that are trying to get as many good players as they can or as many good content creators as they can to be part of their roster so they can bring in the most amount of traction or people to look at them and, support them. Now, being an event organizer can be, a solo dolo thing, but if you want to be very successful for it, you got to start working on, building your own esports career. Your esports profile, if you will. It can be whether in the form of making your own esports organization or, just a small team of people. You want to pretty much create a brand for yourself or, the people that you're working with. So that's another way to make money off of Smash Brothers. But pretty much this whole time I've been exclusively talking about how you can make money for yourself or just work on yourself to make money. But we gotta remember that this is a Nintendo-owned game. So everything that you're doing is on your own and with third-party sources. But what about the first-party source? The company that makes the game directly. Now, there are ways to make money off of Smash Brothers by working with Nintendo. The people that make the game. One way is to become an ambassador, which usually comes with having a reputation already. So you gotta work on your reputation first. You gotta be an influencer or content creator or competitor, something along those lines where you already have a lot of eyes on you and it's very easy for you to just talk about Smash Brothers and get a lot of people to listen. So being an ambassador does start with having a reputation, which does start with the other steps I just talked about earlier. But it is a career path because you're gonna get paid by Nintendo to pretty much promote the game itself. Now, normally Nintendo will reach out to you if they want you to be an ambassador, but you can always just reach out to them as well. A lot of people don't know this, but you can always just reach out to a company and just talk and ask if you can become, part of a program, whether it's being an ambassador or something else entirely. But you can always just reach out to someone or a company and ask for a position and give them your resume and tell them why you think you'd be qualified for the job. And lastly, another thing you can actually do is become a developer. Now, who's to say there's going to be another Smash game? Probably there will be, but if you want to make money off of Smash Brothers, you could always just apply to be a developer or someone that actually works on the game. Now, like I mentioned, this is all assuming that there's going to be another game, but it never hurts to reach out and find out if you can get a position to just work with Nintendo and potentially be on a team that works on the future projects that they have for Smash Brothers. So those are the ways that you can actually make this game a career. I know it's a very long video. I just wanted to go into depth about everything and like all the possibilities that you can just go through to become like someone that can actually turn this into a feasible career. But yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Next video will be a skit, but I just wanted to throw in like a quick discussion video in the mix. You know, I do want to do a few more in the future, and I also have a bunch of other video ideas planned, so look forward to that. But with that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.